how to go after what you want. Clarity is power. You know, one of the greatest lessons I've ever learned is this: you cannot hit a target you cannot see. Clarity is more than just knowing what you want. It's about feeling it in your bones. It's waking up in the morning and saying, this is what I'm working toward, and this is why it matters. Too often, we let life sweep us along, reacting instead of creating. We move from one day to the next, hoping that somehow we'll stumble into our purpose. But listen, hope is not a strategy. Clarity is. When you know what you want, when you can see it, taste it, feel it, you give the world instructions on how to support you. People, resources, and opportunities start aligning in ways you never imagined. I remember talking to someone who said, I want to be successful. And I asked, what does that look like for you? They paused. They didn't know. Success was just a blurry idea, a moving target they couldn't define. So I told them this: get still. Sit with yourself. Ask the hard questions. What brings you joy? What sets your soul on fire? What makes you feel like you're living your truth? Because once you answer those questions, you start to see the path. And not only that, you start to walk it with purpose. Clarity gives you confidence. It makes you bold enough to say no to the things that don't serve your vision. It gives you the strength to walk away from distractions even when they look like opportunities. And when life throws you curveballs, and trust me, it will, clarity becomes your anchor. When you're clear on what you want, obstacles don't derail you. They just become detours on the way to your destination. So my challenge to you is this: get clear. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Write it down, speak it out loud, claim it for yourself, because once you're clear, the power to make it happen is already in your hands. Own your why. If you want to go after what you want, really go after it. You have to know why you want it. Your why is the heartbeat of your dream. It's the reason you keep pushing when you're tired, the reason you get back up after you've been knocked down. Without a strong why, even the best plans crumble. But when you know your why, you're unstoppable. I've met so many people who set big goals. They say, I want to start a business, or I want to go back to school, or I want to write that book. And I always ask why. Why does that matter to you? Because when your why is rooted in something deeper than just wanting success or recognition, that's where your power lies. Your why has to move you. It has to make you sit up straighter when you talk about it. It should give you chills just thinking about it. Maybe your why is to break a generational cycle, to prove that your family's story doesn't end with struggle. Maybe it's to create something your children can look at one day and say, because of you, I know it's possible. Maybe it's simply because you refuse to leave this earth without giving your gift to the world. Whatever it is, you have to own it. Embrace it like it's your compass, because it is. There will be days when you're tired, days when doubt creeps in and whispers, this is too hard. That's when your why becomes your fire. I remember hearing a story about a single mother working 2 jobs, raising 3 kids, and still finding time to study late into the night. When someone asked her how she kept going, she said, I see my babies' faces and I know what I'm fighting for. That's what a powerful why looks like. It doesn't just push you forward, it pulls you through. So ask yourself, what's your why? Not the surface reason, not the answer you think sounds good. Dig deeper. Find the thing that moves you to tears, the thing that feels too big to put into words. Because when you own your why, nothing, and I mean nothing, can stop you from chasing what's already yours. Visualize the outcome before you can achieve something. You have to see it, not just in your mind, but in your spirit. You have to believe in it so deeply that it feels real before it even happens. Visualization is not daydreaming. It's not some idle wish floating around in your mind. No, visualization is a powerful, intentional act of creation. You have to see yourself already there. See yourself in that corner office, confidently leading the meeting. See yourself walking across that graduation stage, diploma in hand. See yourself standing on that stage, sharing your story with people who are hanging on your every word. I've learned that when you hold a vision strong enough, when you close your eyes and picture it so vividly that you can feel the air in the room, hear the sounds, taste the victory, something shifts inside you. Because here's the truth. Your mind doesn't know the difference between what's imagined and what's real. When you see your dream clearly, when you feel it like it's already happened, your actions start to align with that vision. You'll notice you're speaking differently, moving differently, showing up differently. And when the opportunity finally comes, you'll recognize it because you've already seen it in your mind. I remember once hearing about an athlete, a runner, who was injured right before the biggest race of her career. She couldn't train, but every day she sat quietly, closed her eyes, and ran that race in her mind. She pictured every step, the wind against her face, the sound of her heartbeat in her ears, the moment her foot crossed that finish line. And when the day of the race finally came, her body knew exactly what to do because her mind had already run that race 1,000 times. That's what visualization does. It programs you for success. It aligns your mind, body, and spirit with your goal. So ask yourself, what does your victory look like? Not just what you hope will happen, but what it will feel like when it's real. Will you smile so big your cheeks hurt? Will you throw your hands in the air and shout, I did it? Get still, close your eyes, picture it in color, with detail, with emotion. Because once you can see it, you're already halfway there. Embrace fear as fuel. Fear, it's that tightness in your chest, that voice in your head whispering, what if you fail? It's the feeling that makes you second guess yourself, the doubt that keeps you from stepping into your greatness. But here's what I've learned about fear. It's not your enemy, it's your energy. See, fear shows up when you're about to step into something bigger than you've ever done before. It's not there to stop you. It's there to wake you up. Fear is a sign that you're standing at the edge of growth, and the only thing you have to do is lean in. When I started my career, I was terrified. Terrified of saying the wrong thing, of being judged, of failing in front of everyone. But then I realized something, the very things I was afraid of were the things I needed to do most. I had to learn that fear doesn't mean stop, it means go. Fear is like fire. Left untamed, it can burn your dreams to the ground. But when you learn to harness it, when you take that fear and turn it into fuel, it becomes the energy that drives you forward. I once spoke with a young woman who wanted to start her own business. She was talented, brilliant, but she kept hesitating. I asked her, what's holding you back? And she said, I'm scared I'll fail. I looked her right in the eye and said, good, that means you're about to do something powerful. See, fear only shows up when what you're doing matters. It doesn't waste its time on people who are playing small. Fear rises when you're daring to grow, when you're pushing beyond what's comfortable. So instead of running from it, ask yourself, what is this fear trying to teach me? Maybe it's telling you to prepare more. Maybe it's reminding you how much this goal means to you. Maybe it's proof that you're standing in the middle of your breakthrough. Whatever it is, use it. Use that fear to sharpen your focus. Let it push you to train harder, study longer, show up stronger. Don't let fear shrink you, let it stretch you. The truth is, the bigger the dream, the louder the fear. And that's a good thing. Because when you learn to turn fear into fuel, to feel it, face it, and move through it, you unlock a power that can take you anywhere you want to go. So the next time fear rises up, when your hands start to shake and your heart races, don't run from it, don't shrink. Stand right there in the middle of it and say, I see you, and I'm moving forward anyway. Commit to consistency. Success isn't about what you do once in a while. It's about what you do every single day. I've seen people start with fire in their eyes. They're excited, they're energized, they're ready to take on the world. But then life happens. The excitement fades, the motivation dips, and they stop showing up. Not because they weren't capable, but because they weren't consistent. Here's the truth. Consistency is what separates the dreamers from the doers. You can have the best ideas, the biggest goals, the most powerful vision, but if you don't show up for it every day, it's never going to happen. And listen, consistency doesn't always look glamorous. Sometimes it means writing when you don't feel inspired. Sometimes it means practicing when no one's watching. Sometimes it means waking up early, staying late, or taking one more step, even when you're tired. I remember once asking someone how they became so successful, and they said, I just kept showing up. That's it. No secret formula, no magic trick. They just kept showing up on the good days, the hard days, the in-between days when it felt like nothing was working. Because consistency isn't about perfection, it's about commitment. Even when you don't see the results right away, even when it feels like no one's noticing, even when doubt starts whispering, is this even worth it? You keep going, because every step, every small action is building something greater than you can see in the moment. Think about water shaping a rock, not in a day, not in a week, but over time, through steady, constant pressure, that water carves out canyons. That's what consistency does. It shapes your life in powerful ways, not all at once, but through steady, committed action. So ask yourself, what's one thing I can do today, just one thing, that brings me closer to my goal? Maybe it's writing one page, making one phone call, practicing one more hour, or simply reminding yourself, I'm not giving up today. Because when you commit to consistency, you stop waiting for motivation to show up, and you create momentum instead. And let me tell you, momentum, that's where the magic happens. Because when you keep showing up day after day, step by step, that's when the breakthrough comes. Surround yourself with growth-minded people. You can have the biggest dream in the world, but if you're surrounded by people who don't believe in that dream, who don't believe in you, that dream will start to shrink. The people you surround yourself with, they matter. They shape your energy, your mindset, and ultimately, your future. I've learned that if you want to go far, if you want to stretch beyond what you've known, you have to be intentional about the company you keep. You need to be around people who see your potential even when you can't see it yourself. People who challenge you to think bigger, push harder, and become better. People who won't let you sit in self-doubt or hide behind excuses. Because here's the truth, your circle can either lift you up or pull you down. I remember a young man once told me, I feel stuck. I've got these big ideas, but every time I share them with my friends, they laugh or tell me to be realistic. And I said to him, then you're talking to the wrong people. See, when you're surrounded by growth-minded people, they don't laugh at your dreams, they expand them. They say, that's a great idea. Now, what's your next step? They don't criticize your ambition, they encourage it. They celebrate your wins, but they're also the first ones to say, I know you can do better, and I'm holding you to it. That's the kind of energy you need in your life. Growth-minded people inspire you by how they live, by the way they speak, the way they think, the way they push themselves. Being around people like that, it makes you want to step up your game. So take a look at your circle. Ask yourself, are these people speaking life into me or draining my energy? Do they celebrate my growth or make me question it? Are they challenging me to be better or keeping me comfortable? And if the answer isn't what you hoped for, don't be afraid to expand your circle. Find the people who believe in learning, evolving, and stretching, the ones who aren't just chasing success, they're chasing purpose. The ones who inspire you not by what they say, but by how they live. Because when you surround yourself with growth-minded people, something incredible happens. Your dreams stop feeling impossible, they start feeling inevitable. So often, we get so focused on where we're going that we forget to honor how far we've come. We tell ourselves, I'll celebrate when I get the promotion. I'll feel proud when I finish the degree. I'll be happy when I reach the goal. But let me tell you something. If you're always waiting until you've made it to celebrate, you're missing out on the most powerful part of the process, the journey itself. The journey is where the growth happens. It's where you build resilience. It's where you become the person who's ready to handle the blessing that's coming your way. Every step forward, no matter how small, is proof that you are stronger, wiser, and braver than you were before. I remember speaking to a woman who had just launched her own business. She told me, I'm still not where I want to be. I said, but are you further than you were last year? She paused, thought for a moment, and then smiled. Oh yes, she said, that's what I want you to remember. Progress is worth celebrating. Maybe you didn't land the job yet, but you showed up for the interview. That's growth. Maybe you haven't finished the novel, but you wrote one more chapter. That's commitment. Maybe you're not at your goal yet, but you're still in the game. That's courage. Celebrate that. Because when you celebrate the small wins, you give yourself momentum to keep going. You remind yourself, I am capable, I am powerful, I am becoming. And you know what else? Gratitude grows in those moments. When you stop to celebrate, you realize just how much you've already gained. The wisdom, the strength, the lessons you couldn't have learned any other way. So take a moment right now and think about something you've accomplished. Something you once thought you couldn't do, but you did. Something that once seemed impossible, but you made it happen. Maybe you had to crawl your way through it. Maybe you stumbled, maybe you cried along the way, but you're here. And that deserves to be honored, because your journey isn't just a path to the goal, it's the proof that you are becoming exactly who you are meant to be. Now, if there's one thing I want you to remember, it's this. Everything you need to create the life you want is already inside you. You have the power to gain clarity, to know exactly what you want and why it matters. You have the courage to own your why, to hold on to the purpose that keeps you moving forward. You have the vision to see the outcome, to picture your victory so clearly that it feels real before it even happens. You have the strength to embrace fear as fuel, to turn those moments of doubt into stepping stones toward your dream. You have the discipline to commit to consistency, to show up day after day, even when no one's watching. You have the wisdom to surround yourself with growth-minded people, to connect with those who push you higher and remind you of your power. And most importantly, you have the grace to celebrate the journey, to honor the steps you've already taken and know that every moment, the triumphs, the struggles, the lessons, they're all shaping you for what's ahead. So I challenge you, step forward with boldness, show up for your dream like it's already yours, because it is. Trust that every action you take is building something extraordinary. And when the road feels long, when fear whispers you're not enough, when the doubt creeps in and tells you to quit, I want you to stand firm in the truth that you are stronger than you know, braver than you've believed, and closer than you've ever been. Go after what you want, not someday, today, because the life you're dreaming of, it's waiting for you to claim it. So go and make it happen.